You've been raised to believe that truth is noble, that it purifies the soul, strengthens relationships, and dignifies the man who wields it. But allow me to break that illusion with the cold blade of reality. Truth is not sacred. It is a tool. And like any tool, it can be sharpened, hidden, or replaced depending on the result you seek. The man who insists on speaking truth at all times is either a fool or a martyr. The world does not reward honesty. It exploits it. Honesty makes you predictable. Predictability makes you vulnerable. And vulnerability, in the court of power, is a death sentence delivered politely. It is not the honest man who rises. It is the one who knows when to lie and lies with precision, timing, and elegance. You must understand this if you wish to rule your world instead of crawling through it. The truth is like fire, powerful when contained, deadly when exposed. It burns your alliances, your secrets, your leverage. It destroys the illusions others cling to, and for that they will never forgive you. They say they want the truth, but they want a version of the truth that flatters their image, maintains their security, and props up their story. Give them the truth in its rawest form, and you become their enemy. Not because you are wrong, but because you saw them clearly and left them no mask to hide behind. So what do? You learn the art of lying well, not the foolish lies of the coward who fears consequence. No, I speak of lies crafted with purpose. Lies that elevate, that shield, that control the movements of others like invisible strings on a stage of fools. The greatest leaders in history did not ascend by honesty. They ascended by illusion. Caesar was a populist who claimed to defend the Republic while undermining it at every turn. Napoleon crowned himself emperor under the guise of restoring order, and even the so-called prophets, revered and feared, wrapped their truths in allegories, half-truths, and divine pretense. Because the masses do not follow reality. They follow what appears powerful. You must learn to become what they need while hiding who you are. This is the first rule of lying well. Tell them what they want to hear, so you can do what you need to do. Let them believe you are loyal, just, honorable. Feed their fantasy, nurture it, and in doing so, chain them to it. They will call you righteous, but it is you who holds the leash. The second rule is this: never lie small. The petty liar is discovered. The strategic liar is worshipped. A small lie exposes you as deceptive. A grand lie reshapes reality itself. If you must lie, lie in such a way that people are afraid to question it. Make your deception their comfort zone. Turn it into a shared delusion that benefits them, and they will protect it on your behalf. You may ask, but what of conscience? What of guilt? Leave that to the poets and priests. Power does not recognize such currency. Conscience is a chain placed around the neck of the ambitious by those too weak to rule. The only morality that matters is the one that produces results. And if your lies protect your reign, expand your influence, and fortify your legacy, then they are not lies. They are foundations. Let me go further. People want to be lied to. They crave it. They beg for it in silence. The lover wants to believe they are the only one. The citizen wants to believe their leaders care. The servant wants to believe their sacrifice matters. Strip them of these illusions and they unravel. But give them just enough fantasy, and they will pledge loyalty without knowing why. So then you must master appearances. Let your face reflect sincerity, even as your mind calculates betrayal. Let your voice tremble with emotion, even as your hands build cages. Let your story sound noble, even if it is soaked in quiet corruption. The lie must be beautiful, because beauty distracts the eye while you carve your path forward. Those who rise are not those who see the world clearly, but those who convince others to see the world through their lens. This is how kingdoms are built. This is how lovers are tamed. This is how enemies are disarmed. Not with swords, but with illusions so intoxicating they lower their own guard. And if you're still clinging to the idea that truth brings peace, I tell you this: peace is a lullaby sung before the storm. Every great peace was built on silenced voices, hidden deals, and masks worn until the blood dried. The difference between the victor and the victim is not truth. It is control over perception. And he who controls perception controls the game. So lie. But lie with mastery. lie not out of fear but out of vision. Use truth as a tool, not a creed. Speak it when it serves you, bury it when it doesn't, and never, ever reveal your full hand. Not even to those closest to you. They will call you cold. Let them. They will call you manipulative. Let them choke on the word. For when they kneel, whether in love, in war, or in politics, they will kneel before the one who shaped the world they believe in. And that world, no matter how noble it appears, was always built on a lie whispered by the only man brave enough to tell it. Do not mistake this philosophy for nihilism. This is not chaos. This is not cruelty for its own sake. This is design. You do not lie because you are broken. You lie because you understand the structure of men's minds, because you see that most people walk blindfolded through life, clutching. Tell stories that make them feel safe. You who wish to lead, to conquer, to seduce are not here to feel safe. You are here to win in a world governed by illusion. You must become the illusionist. There is a truth you must accept early. Honesty is a luxury only the powerless can afford. The man who serves may tell the truth, because his truth has no consequences. But the man who rules, who moves armies and hearts, who enters bedrooms and boardrooms with the same sharp gaze, he must lie. Not because he is evil, but because the world runs on lies dressed as ideals. You will see this in every corner of life. The politician who speaks of justice while hiding the contract in his drawer. The lover who speaks of forever while calculating an escape. The friend who praises you in public while envying your every success in silence. They lie. All of them. And most of them do it poorly, without structure, without purpose. But you will lie with structure, with purpose, with vision. Your lie must be rooted in strategy, not emotion. This is the difference between the manipulator and the master. The manipulator lies out of desperation. The master lies out of design. One is reactive, the other inevitable. Now understand this. The best lie is the one closest to the truth. You do not need to fabricate entire worlds. Simply distort what already exists. If you have power, exaggerate it. If you have loyalty, display it selectively. If you have weakness, hide it beneath a cloak of charm. You are not constructing castles in the air. You are polishing the stone they will worship. People do not believe what is true. They believe what is repeated, what is convenient, and what makes them feel important. Feed them that, and they will not only believe you, they will protect you. They will repeat your lie until it becomes their truth. And then, even if you were to confess, they would defend you still. Because by then, your lie is theirs. This is the highest form of control, not to dominate others through force, but to make them crave the chains you designed. That is power. To make them doubt their own intuition before they doubt your words. To make them see betrayal as loyalty, silence as wisdom, and cruelty as strength. You do not ask for trust. You craft it. You do not seek permission. You manufacture consent. You do not beg for belief. You inject it. So I say this. Be careful not to tell the truth too soon. The truth has weight, and once revealed, it cannot be taken back. Let your truths be earned, not given. Let them be rare, valuable, always half-covered in mystery. The one who tells everything is not honest. He is weak, and the world has no mercy for weak men. Let us talk of love now. For what is love but the most intricate battlefield of all? Here lying is not an act of betrayal, it is survival. Lovers ask questions not to know the truth, but to test the shape of your story. They want your honesty, but only when it flatters them. Only when it secures their place. If you speak the truth in love, make sure it is the beautiful lie they can live with. Do not confess too much. Do not explain too deeply. The moment your truth requires defense, it begins to rot. Better to let them wonder, to let your mystery become their obsession, than to open your chest and bleed sincerity on the table. That does not win hearts. That weakens your position. You must remain just out of reach. Close enough to touch, but never close enough to define. Let them guess. Let them ache. Let them doubt. Not your power, but your full intentions. That is seduction. That is leverage. That is art. And finally, I will tell you this. There will come a day when the truth must be told. But it will be your version, shaped, distilled, weaponized. The truth you reveal must not liberate others. It must lock them deeper into your vision, your legacy, your empire. Because the truth is never just information. It is a lever, a tool, a trap. And if you are wise, every word you speak, truth or lie, will bend reality in your favor. So speak carefully, speak strategically, and remember, the man who lies well owns the world. You must understand, the most powerful lies are not spoken, they are embodied. A man can speak truth with a trembling lip and still be doubted, but a liar, steady in voice and still in face, will be believed before anyone questions him. Why? Because people do not believe what they hear, they believe what they feel. This is why kings rule in silence, why leaders do not explain, why legends are born not from accuracy, but from aura. Your presence must become your first lie. Your calm must whisper, "I have nothing to hide." Your stillness must say, "I fear nothing." And your gaze, never too soft, never too sharp, must walk the line between intimacy and distance. Too much warmth and you lose authority. Too much coldness and you lose connection. The master walks just behind the curtain of full transparency. Your voice must never betray your intention. You may be lying with every word, but your tone must remain steady, even gentle. Rage is weakness, desperation is exposure, and silence. Silence, when used correctly, is a weapon sharper than any deception. A pause before you speak forces the other to anticipate, to doubt themselves, to fill the gap with their own projections, and in doing so they hand you power. This is the third rule of lying well. Let them lie to themselves. All you need to do is create the stage, provide the setting, the context, the frame, and the human mind will do the rest. They will project onto you everything they desire: strength, wisdom, passion, loyalty. You become a mirror and they fall in love with their own reflection. A reflection you crafted, and one they will defend at all costs, even when the truth tries to shatter it. This is why exposure never truly ruins the powerful. Because by the time the truth surfaces, the audience has already committed to the lie. They are invested in the image. And once someone is invested, they do not seek truth. They seek justification. The more they believe in you, the more they will attack anyone who tries to correct their perception. It is not hard to deceive the mind. What is difficult is controlling it long enough for that deception to solidify into belief. Once belief sets in, it no longer matters what is true, it only matters who controls the narrative. Governments do this with flags, religions do it with robes, lovers do it with promises. And you? You must do it with presence, discipline, and the confidence to know that truth is not your duty. It is your weapon. Tell the truth when it breaks your enemy. Tell the truth when it elevates your myth. Tell the truth when it silences a threat. When it earns you admiration, when it disarms a rival by seeming bold. But never, never tell the truth out of guilt. That is for the ruled, not the ruler. The world does not reward raw honesty. It rewards the performance of honesty. And the one who performs it best gains not just attention but obedience. You may believe now that this is manipulation, and perhaps it is. But tell me, when did manipulation become a sin? Is it manipulation when a general rallies his troops with exaggerated tales of glory? Is it manipulation when a lover holds back the harsh truth to preserve the passion that holds them together? Is it manipulation when a leader says, "We are winning," even as the walls crack behind him? Or is it simply leadership? You must redefine the meaning of truth. It is not a confession. It is not a burden. It is not a virtue. Truth is a tool, a chisel, a lens, a lever. You use it, you withhold it, you reshape it, but you do not kneel to it. The masses kneel to truth because they have no better weapon. You were born to wield it. Not because you are a liar by nature, but because you see that in a world drunk on illusion, the sober man must either rule or be hunted. You think lying is immoral? Then look around you. Every institution you trust is built upon it. Every government that claims legitimacy. Every ideology that promises salvation. Every brand that whispers identity. Every relationship that survives hardship. All of them survive not by telling the whole truth, but by crafting a truth that serves a purpose, and the greater the purpose, the more acceptable the lie becomes. Look at the cathedral, not built on facts, but on faith, the most elegant lie. Of all, for it asks no proof, only devotion. Look at the courtroom. Justice? No, just storytelling with robes and rituals. The truth there is what the stronger narrative permits. Look at the politician who promises change. He does not need to deliver. He needs to appear sincere. And the masses? They do not demand truth. They demand hope, even if false, because reality is too terrifying without it. Do you see it now? Truth is not reality. It is theater. It is a crafted mirror angled precisely to reflect what the crowd wants to see. And the one who holds that mirror becomes the most powerful man in the room. This is why those who worship honesty at all costs are so easily manipulated. They cannot see the performance. They take every mask as a face, every promise as law, every tear as purity. They believe in transparency, a fantasy that only blinds them to how power really moves, because the greatest strength of a lie is not in being believed. It is in being needed, and this is where the Machiavellian mind breaks free from the herd. You do not lie for comfort. You lie for command. You do not deceive to hide. You deceive to reveal only what you choose. You do not fear being exposed. You make exposure part of your plan. A controlled burn to keep suspicion away from the deeper layers. You offer a small truth so the larger lie remains untouched. The skilled liar does not simply invent. He selects. He edits. He curates reality like a composer builds a symphony, every note placed with intention, every silence loaded with tension. And here is the most important truth of all. The greatest liar is the one who lies least. Not because he is honest, but because he has built such a perfect image that people lie to themselves in order to keep believing it. That is when you have won. Not when they believe you, when they defend you. This is the peak of influence. To become untouchable, not by brute strength, but by belief so deep, so personal, that tearing it down would destroy the believer more than it would destroy you. You become a part of them, and they protect you to protect themselves. At that point, you no longer need to lie. Your existence is the lie, and it will endure long after you're gone. That is legacy. That is empire. That is truth, repurposed. So if you've made it this far, if your mind didn't flinch, if your conscience didn't scream, if instead something inside you whispered, "Finally," someone dares to say it, then this space was made for you. Subscribe to Mind and Empire. Because here we don't preach virtue. We study power, we sharpen the mind. We expose the game, so you can learn how to play it and win. Leave a comment if the world you thought you knew now feels like a stage. Tell me what truths you've had to bury, what masks you've worn. Because here, we do not fear the dark, we weaponize it. And like this video, not to show approval, but to send a message. That you're done being lied to, and ready to lie better. Let the others drown in sincerity. You were born to command.